Hey everybody, I'd like to talk to you a little bit today about silica, why it's important for your plant growth, and some of the different methods by which you can get silicon into your cultivation system. Plants absorb silica in only one form that we know of, and that's in the form of monosilicic acid, which is also sometimes referred to as orthosilicic acid. So plants that are treated with silicic acid will display an increased resistance to biotic and abiotic stresses such as pests, pathogens, or drought conditions and soil salinity, as well as demonstrating stronger stems and foliage and improved nutrient uptake. When you're shopping for a silicic acid fertilizer supplement, you're going to come across three different main groups of products, broadly speaking. So the first of those will be a potassium silicate solution, such as Plant Guard that we stock here at Northern Organics by Green Planet. So potassium silicate is an ionic salt, which means that when it is dissolved into water, it breaks down into potassium and silica. These potassium silicate products you can find in either a solid or a liquid form, and they will be very, very basic. So the pH of them is approximately about 10 or 11. So in order to use them in our cultivation system, we would need to be able to reduce the pH down to an acceptable range for plant growth, so somewhere between 5.5 and 6.5 if you're hydroponic, or somewhere closer between 6 and 7 if you're in a soil system. So when we're using potassium silicate to generate our monosilicic acid, it's important that we add this first to our hydroponic reservoir. Failure to do so will actually result in a solution that does not contain any monosilicic acid. Of the three main types of silicic acid sources that we're going to talk about today, potassium silicate is the silicate source that requires the highest application rate. So next, when you're shopping for your silicic acid fertilization solutions, you're going to come across acid-stabilized monosilicic acid, which is a bit of a mouthful, such as Invasion OSA. You may have seen this product before. So when we're comparing acid-stabilized monosilicic acid solutions to potassium silicates, you might have already noticed that the pH is almost inverted. So when we were looking at potassium silicate, we had a pH of about 10 to 11. Over here with the acid-stabilized MSAs, the pH is significantly lower. So we're looking at 3 or 4. So these are acidic products. These are derived from potassium silicate that we spoke about earlier. And that potassium silicate is reacted with phosphoric acid to produce a stabilized monosilicic acid. So what this really means from your perspective as the gardener is that the concentration of monosilicic acid present in these products is higher. And so therefore the overall application rate will be much lower. So it's common to see application rates of less than 1 milliliter per liter when you're looking at these acid stabilized products. So when we compare tetraethyl orthosilicates back to acid stabilized monosilicic acids or potassium silicates that those are derived from, the tetraethyl orthosilicates are highly concentrated. So common application rates are something as small as 0.03 milliliters per liter. So that's literally a drop. And you would see something like that with Growgenius monosilicic acid. These forms of silicic acids are also pH neutral. So that is the biggest thing, these two, that distinguish them from acid-stabilized MSA or potassium silicate. All three of these groups, when used correctly, will yield monosilicic acid, which is the form in which our plants are able to access and the form that will confer all of the benefits to our crops that I mentioned earlier.